Welcome everyone to Meditation Mount and to this full moon meditation in the sun sign of Cancer with the moon in Capricorn. It's wonderful to have you join us from different parts of the world. And as we normally do, let's begin by gathering our forces and creating a receptive group field that will allow us to be sensitive to the downpouring energies. So let's take a few deep, gentle breaths to bring ourselves present and to release any tensions we may be holding inside our physical body. To release any tensions within our emotional body. And to clear the mind of all extraneous thought so that we are present for ourselves, each other, and this opportune time of the full moon. So we focus now inside the heart center, and we sense the beating of our own heart. Realizing that we are alive. We are an aspect of the one life. And as we feel the beating of the heart, we listen with our subtle hearing to the beating of all the hearts on this call today. And gradually, the many beats come into synchronization, and we sense the beating of one heart, of one group. Having created this coherent field amongst ourselves, we now link with other individuals and groups around the world who are gathered at this time to receive the blessings from deeper dimensions of wisdom, of light, of love within the planetary life. Be aware that we are part of a great matrix of humanity seeking to connect heaven and earth. Thank you. It's always useful to take time to bring ourselves into alignment, both vertically and horizontally. And in that way, we form this very powerful receptive field that can be of service. So let's start by saying that Cancer, as we know, is a water sign in which the purificatory waters of experience begin their beneficent work, as it's said. This is also the sign of the crab who carries a house upon its back. And it's the opportunity inside the constellation of Cancer that is reflected in the spiritual motto of this sign, which is, I build a lighted house and therein dwell. I build a lighted house and therein dwell. So this sign focuses our attention on the light within the form, the light of substance itself that awaits the stimulation coming from the vital light of the soul. So in Cancer, We are invited to radiate our light out into the world and to not hide this divine gift under a rock. We're not going to hide our light under a bushel, as it says in the Bible. So in Cancer, there is sensitivity to mass consciousness, and the greater environment is a prominent characteristic that puts us in touch with everyday life and with the emotional field of humanity, because the emotions are synonymous with the plane of water. Emotions are the watery plane. So it's said that Cancer is a sign that rules the masses. It's linked to mass consciousness, or the group herd mentality that exists within all of us. And it's one of the aspects that links us as human beings. We are swimming in the same waters. And it's been written that Cancer rules the gate into mass consciousness or daily life on Earth, and the opposite sign of Capricorn, where the moon is now, rules the gate out into spirit when we are on the path of return. The tasks and goals in Cancer are creation on the form level, the transmutation of sensitivity, resolution of isolation, and service to the whole. Just ponder on that. So when we think of Cancer with its symbol of the crab, we can say that the crab lives upon the land because it dwells within the physical plane life, but it also lives in the sea because it dwells as part of the emotional plane life. And this is significant because for eons, the earthly forms have controlled and hidden the light of the soul. Thus, Cancer is a place of symbolic imprisonment, emphasizing the pains and consequences of choice made that are not yet in alignment with the soul. So this is where we learn the lessons of the emotional plane. And it's no surprise that the ruling planets of watery Cancer are the moon, which is the exoteric ruler, and Neptune, which is the esoteric ruler. And in the house system, Cancer rules the fourth house. And it's in this house where our base level roots and patterns of behavior are anchored. And this is through karma, both group and personal, through DNA, family traits, parental, family and environmental conditioning, and others, just to name a few. So the classroom of Cancer is where we learn and express patterns of behavior given to us and inherited by others, and either taken on board or rejected by us, usually after a great deal of self-work. And so this is the link to the subconscious and learned patterns of behavior. There's another important thing to remember about this sign. Cancer is connected with the energy of the mother because she encourages the nurturing of others. And we do this either as spouses, sisters, brothers, parents. We do this through providing love, food, emotional support, healing, protection, encouragement, whatever is needed. That is the mother aspect. That is the watery aspect that provides nourishment. And Cancer is an ancient sign. And if I can quote from Alice Bailey's Esoteric Astrology, and it's on page 313, if you want to look it up, it says the following: the sign Cancer is one of the most ancient of the signs and one of the first to be recognized and established as an influencing factor by ancient humanity. When the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters, God breathed into man's nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. In these words, you have established the relation which exists in the mind of God between spirit, the breath of life, the soul or consciousness, and man, the form. So we see that the clear message of this sign is that each one of us must build a lighted house, both inside and out. And humanity herself is destined to become a lighted house inside the multi-dimensional body of Gaia that we also call the planetary logos. So there are many opportunities, many tasks, many challenges associated with this sign. So now that we are aware of them, let's take a deep breath, imbibe them, assimilate them, so that we have a sense of what Cancer offers us. And with this in heart and mind, let's now hand over to Diana, who will lead us in today's full moon meditation.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Meditation Mount. So happy to join together for these big full moons. And we are at the solstice, just a couple days after, very much still in that full moon. We are in the full moon energy, which is tomorrow at, what is it, tomorrow at 11:40 in the morning. And so we're right before it, and we're just after the summer solstice. So it's very big energy of the mother energy, like Michael was talking about, and the creative energy of that. The Cancerian energy is about the form, creation into form. And this beautiful sort of ancient energy of the Cancerian solar energy, very different than the Capricorn full moon. And then these work in these polarities together. But Capricorn full moon is also about the form. So it's interesting in these polarities that the opposites come together at the full moon. So you might have been feeling in this last whole 7 days or so, an increasing of energy as we move through the summer solstice, and in the northern hemisphere here, and the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere, of course. So we've got these big shadow and light energies moving together, and in opposing ways it seems, but of course they're in these beautiful pairs of opposites that perfectly work together in synchronicity. So as we come into this particular full moon energy of Cancer, and the waters of Cancer, the oceans, the rivers, the water, all around the world, you can feel your connection with the water that's within us, right? And the water that is without. That the earth is more than 70% water, and we are almost exactly by ratio about the same percentage of water in our physical bodies. And so water to water, right? We come together, we came from the water in this earth experience. And one of the things I wanted to at least mention tonight as we start to head into the meditation is the idea of the power of the physical experience on the earth. And literally, as we were setting up here for this meditation, there was a little earthquake. And that felt very, we're in California. So that kind of energy of the full moon energy. So we had this little tremor. And I thought, that's so exactly, this earth experience is very physical. And we need to use, though, our discrimination, right? Our discernment that can feel through all of this physical stimulus. Everywhere we look, physical stimuli, everywhere we experience, and feel, sense through all of that, the energetic pulses, right? Like the full moon offers, like the new moon offers, to connect to those pulses and align with those pulses and sense the difference between thinking something and sensing something through our thinking, so that the thinking starts to be in service to the knowing. And the knowing comes through the meditation, through the experience of becoming one with that downpour, that beautiful full moon illumination that comes into our consciousness as we enter into that space where we become one with the divine plan, quite literally. And through that, even though there can be lots of thoughts, as always, when we meditate, we are trying to find those spaces between the thoughts in the abstract, in the impressionistic space of God force, of the divine plan, where we are literally impressed with the plan, with the light, with that living consciousness of light into ourselves as part of ourselves. Then it forms into thoughts and things and doings. But first, it comes in that abstract way. And so when we move into the meditation, we're going to start with some of our senses, using the senses. And then we're going to go beyond the senses. Extra sensory perception are those other senses that can see the ultraviolet, that can hear the notes that our ears can't physically hear, that can hear the song of the universe in our hearts. So I think that's a good place to start. So when you're ready to, take your seat as conscious soul and feel yourself come into this time and space. As you find your breath, and breath by breath, landing into the heart center to begin. I like to stand in the heart center at first to make that connection with all hearts, all beings, all awakened souls, all souls, period, no exception, connecting heart to heart with all beings, all beings. I connect heart to heart with all beings. And you feel that symmetry, that harmony, that symphony of heart that we can connect with together all around the planet in kindredness, in kinship. And kin is like family, right? Spiritual family, kindred. And so heart to heart, you gently become aware of all of us that are meditating around now in these 48 hours around the full moon, and sensing all these lights around the planet that are awake, wide awake. And all those consciousnesses that are coming to awaken, all connected to this beautiful heart frequency of love, of love, of love, of love. And today, especially connecting to the mother of the world, the solar Cancer, the mother of the world, and feel the holding of this energy that is constant and steady and unwavering for the whole planet. Gently use your breath now to harmonize the physical body, taking a breath, inhale. And as you exhale, vibrating the physical body into harmony. Feeling yourself present. Releasing any of the obvious tension in your body that you're aware of. Releasing all the checkpoints in the body of the bones, the joints, the ligaments, that physicality of us. In harmony. And then take another breath, inhale. And as you exhale, balancing the emotional body. Om. Feeling yourself harmonize the self, body, heart. And finally, mind, taking a breath, inhale. And as you exhale, balancing the mental body. Om, om, om. And feeling that increasing stillness. As you take your seat in the head center now, in the cave, in the violet, in the silver, in that awakened consciousness of yours, that aspirational aspect of the self in the cave, aware of the soul, and feel that link between soul and self as a constant, as a constant. We meet the soul in presence. And you begin to sense the light of the soul. And the overlighting teachers and masters that move through all the way through the heart of the sun. Shambhala to Sirius. This link, this alignment now. And you begin to stand receptive. To the energies of this meditation today. For 10 minutes about of silence. We'll use this seed thought today. We stand united, heart to heart, in resonance with the divine plan, holding the forming future in our consciousness. We stand united in resonance with the divine plan, holding the forming future in our consciousness. We stand united in resonance with the divine plan, holding the forming future. Om. Holding the forming future. And letting these impressions circulate into the group chalice and into the group auric field. Allowing the higher mind and soul to impress the waiting lower mind substance. Letting these thought forms begin to become mental substance of ideas, practical application over these next days. Good. And gently see today in your mind's eye through the ajna, our beautiful blue planet. And just sending so much blessing, healing, love, peace, blessing, blessing, blessings. And holding the frequency of all of this now with the great invocation, which if you know, you can say it with me. This is the amended one, followed by 3 ohms right where you are. It can be silent or aloud. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into human minds. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into all human hearts. May the coming one return to earth. From the center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide all little human wills. The purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, which we call the human race, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. Let's take a few moments to allow the energies that we have invoked to fill the collective field. So that we may carry these energies in the coming days during the days of distribution, as they're called. And we're going to complete this meditation in the solar sign of Cancer with a blessing of the waters. And we're going to do this in 3 waves with the sounding of the Tibetan bowl 3 times. So let's bring ourselves back inside the collective field of the group heart. And we send out a wave of love to bless and give deep gratitude to the waters of the planet, the oceans, the rivers, the lakes. And as we send out this love, we take full responsibility for cleaning up the physical waters that we have polluted. And the second wave is a wave of love to purify the polluted waters of the emotional plane, so that the collective feeling body of our humanity is free from the contamination of negative thoughts and negative emotions. So let's see the purification of the waters of the emotional plane as we send out a wave of love from the group heart. And we now send out a third wave of love to invoke the blessing of the waters of life. May they rain upon the earth, so that the vitality that is the breath of the Spirit may flow through our lives, bringing us together as one human family on earth. So we send out this wave of love, invoking the waters of life. So let each of us and let us together play our part in the building of the lighted house of Gaia so that we can live in harmony with all life. Remember, one earth, one humanity, one destiny. Thank you everyone so much for your presence and participation in this full moon meditation. We wish you a good evening from Meditation Mount. May we leave this space and continue our journey in life as a blessing to our world. Namaste.